Hello everyone and welcome to another... Hello? What are you doing here? Alright, and welcome to another episode of my Let's Learn series. I am Jade, and today we are going to be working on the item filter. Now, hello. What do you have? I'm curious. Stop. Stop moving away from me if you want my business. That's the only thing I would get. I would get the eye blossoms. But we are in creative, therefore I don't need it. Okay, so we know that last episode we worked on comparators. And from this we learnt about the plus and the minus signal and how it compares signals from different places. I have worked out that a comparator can work out how much a chest is full. So if I put a chest down, I do some redstone dust leading into the side of a comparator. I want this to be the comparing end. If it's larger than a signal of, let's just do like a signal of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Powered. It's got no signal right now because there's nothing in there. Let me just get blocks. I wonder what that counts as. Nothing. You know, let me just do torches. Torch 10,000 or something like that. Okay. Torch 6,400. Now, I don't know why it's not reading the signal. Right, that right there is a full chest. I also don't have any output dust. How many should I go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 to show that it should be off at a certain point. Right, okay. So why isn't this signal being picked up? Alright, I'm going to quickly investigate and I will be back in just a second. Alrighty, I have found the first issue with this design. And, alright. That is simply... Let me turn F1 back on. Thank you. Alright, we need the comparator going this way to read the chest signal. And then we'll do a line. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Nice. Okay, so now that we've got our signal being read, this is a signal of 10. I don't know what a full chest would be. I'm going to go investigate why this isn't working a bit more. There we go. So I just realised that I had a bit of redstone going into the chest. I think the comparator needs to be at the chest. And that right there is turned it on. It is a full chest, so it should send out a signal of 15. And I'm going to send out a signal of 5 from here. And it should still work because it's in compare mode, not subtract mode. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15, and then it turns off. Alright, nice. Okay, so we know how this works now. So what we want to do is do the same thing, but with a hopper. So if I put items in the hopper, what kind of strength of a signal does that give? I want it to have 4 and then maybe about, actually let me, and I want it to have 40 because then I need to know how to set. So what I'm doing is trying to set the hopper. Essentially, I want to see what signal this gives off, so that way I can match it or reduce it, so I can set the threshold. I will explain what that all means in a second. Now I know it's about 42. Okay, this gives us a fairly weak signal of 1, 2, 3, and then stops. In other words, so the reason why I'm getting rid of this redstone is because this is a higher signal, and we know that the comparator won't work if that's overpowering it. So what do I mean by threshold, and what did I just say? With an items filter, I want there to be one slot in the hopper with an item that is going to stay in this slot. These will just be a random item. This will be something that's going to filter out one item but leave the other in the chest. By setting a threshold, what do I mean? I mean I'm going to set this side to a signal of 3. So that way it can only go and it can only filter things once that's hit 42. So it will have to stop at a certain thing to think it's full. Alright, I'm going to build one over here. Alright, chest, hopper, chest. Okay, I'm going to have the repeater right in front like that. Now, I could also alternatively use something that does have an output signal of 3. I just don't know what that is, so I'm going to do the massive redstone line. But if anyone in the comments could help me, I would greatly appreciate that. If not, I'm happy to look it up and figure it out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 going in. I want it to read an output signal of 3. Let me also set up the hopper. Right. So I need to trick the hopper into thinking that it's full. Let me do it like this. And I think we're filtering torches. So let's do torches, and that was a bit of a mistake. Okay. So right now it's comparing the signal saying that the hopper is full and it's greater. Let me make just a longer redstone line. It's going to give off a signal. And there we go. Okay. So now what we want is when this is powered off, we want a redstone torch to maybe turn on or activate when this is off. How would we do that? Oh, that looks very dark. Alright, I'm going to come back and see how it works. Okay, I don't really understand it, but we're just going to give it a go. So that's what we do. So we know that this will give a signal of 3. I'm going to get rid of all these torches, I think, in my inventory. Alright, and what I need is essentially you want to start off by fixing this up. I'm gonna get an anvil. Where would that be? Functional blocks, right? Anvil. We're just gonna use these. Stack of number ones. Stack of T's. A stack of 2s. And a... Okay, there we go. And we're just going to place one of each. No, the torches. 2, number 1. These were completely random and whatever I thought of at that second. Okay, so now I also need just some plain torches. And it should be full. So the way we test if it's full is if I place a chest down there, it's not filtering. So what I could use is possibly a piston. So that way when the signal reaches 3, so 1, 2, 3. No. We can just get a piston, a sticky piston. To move that out of the way. Can we see that working? We have something. Okay. We have something, I'm just not sure what I'm doing wrong. What does waypoint do? What does slash waypoint do? Weird tangent, but what does way... And this is a signal of 12. Wait. Oh, this is a signal of 3. So maybe we can make this one a signal of 2. Then it'll work. Yeah? But that signal's not getting carried, so we need another comparator. No, it is there. Is this necessary or am I just adding? I could add a full signal, I guess. Does it not like it? And then if I place things into that chest, how about if I place some redstone blocks in the next slot? Okay, we did it. We did do it. And it's just going to the next slot. Awesome. Okay, let me explain what's happened. This was unnecessary. I didn't have to do that. Let me fix this. So, the redstone torch is going to lock that when I turn it off. But, okay, stop. Give me a second. Alright, what has happened? The redstone torch currently blocks the piston and tells it that it's full. When we have signal, we've got a signal of 2 over here and a signal of 3 coming up from here. We can let the piston push it, which allows it to filter items. This only filters the items that match the things in the hopper. Because we have these filler items, it only counts the torches. So when you've got items in the chest that need to be sorted, it should sort, and then once it's got no more items to sort, it should turn off. So let's wait for it to turn off. You would probably use, now that I think of it, a redstone block instead, or would that... Alright, we're just going to watch it here, and then we should just have a bunch of torches in there. Nice. Okay, I did an accident. Hey, but it works. It's really, really complicated. Not complicated. My redstone is not very good. It's not very compact. So there are definitely better models out there. But it works. It's efficient. Let me fix that up because I really like that it was working. Am I missing one? Now, it definitely does need some work, but it's not bad. And considering it's me who made this redstone, I call that a huge win. Alright, I kind of want to let this go because I broke the last one. Alright, let me take these out just so I can show you. Yeah, so once it hits that, it just goes back in. It turns it to full, and then just to reset it, you add a torch into here to get it to start up again. I call that a pretty successful episode, so thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you guys, bye!